I'm Matthew Donahue, and this is rock climbing. My first one up it was pretty easy. I've done it before. It's a 5.7. I just like the view at the top. The rating scale starts out with the digit 5 point something. It starts out 1, which is the equivalent of walking on a sidewalk. 2 is like a grade, like a hill. 3 is like a steep hill, like a hike basically. 4 would be like a scramble if you have to use your hands when you're hiking. 5 is, like I said, climbing. And then the second digit, like the 0.2, 0.7 generally is like the easier, is a scale of actual difficulty. There is like a kind of a code of discussion, like me and that Australian earlier were doing, like climb on, or climbing. As my response would be climbing, he'd say climb on. I'd say on belay, he'd say belay on, which means he's got me, he's ready. And off belay would mean that I'm off the belay, you can take me off. And he'd verify or validate that by repeating off belay. And that's pretty much the general terms of like trust right there for 2 climbing partners. When I first got into rock climbing my junior year in the summer up in Wyoming, me and my father did a climb. It was a multi-pitch, which means you climb and then you climb some more and then you climb some more. And I remember being really scared, but once I got to that point, really enjoying it and really loving the adrenaline. So me and my dad generally will go out like at least once a month, sometimes more often if we can, because I really do enjoy climbing with him. He's really fun, and I mean, I'm better than him, but he likes me climbing with him because I can be like his rope gun, which is where I'd lead climb a route, set up the top rope, and then rappel down or whatever, and then he's on top rope for the route, and he can try harder stuff that he wants. And so it brings us closer because we can just hang out, chat about life and stuff, and have the whole father-son thing, like most people go out fishing with their dads. I go out and climb, and we nearly die. I've decided to make my major focused around rocks also. I thought about doing geology, but decided I'd like to use my math and science skills more. So I got into the whole engineering aspect and decided to go into mining. Unfortunately, good ore where you mine is beautiful areas, but I'm going to work on doing the reclamation work as well. And when I finally got to college, I was really stoked about joining a climbing club because my high school didn't have one. So I looked around for about a month or two and finally found one when they were advertising on the mall at the U of A. And they're called Cliffhangers. And I went to their first meeting and I just loved it. We met up and all we discussed was how we were going to meet on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. at the mall and just hop in a bunch of cars and go up climbing. Recently this year I started Team Fun Ministry because I've been into camping all these years also, but I decided to take my passion for Christ and my passion for the outdoors and combine the two, because I've realized that, like myself, I didn't actually go to church until I found a church that met in the evening, because I'd rather be outside in the morning instead of in church. So I started Team Fun Ministry with a bunch of friends from different churches, and we'd basically just go out and camp and just have a good time to just be like the guys and go climb or hike or whatever. You need to have confidence when you're climbing. But the most important thing I would say is the confidence in your safety and the understanding and the respect for the fact that it is dangerous. Because if you're up there just like overconfident and cocky, you're just gonna fall. I would say that like being safe about it and being confident about your safety is definitely the number one thing. My hardest climb was a 511C. Just actually over this ridge on the other side. It was a crack move about 45 feet tall. It was pretty pumpy, which means like my hands get triple the size, my arms get huge because my muscles are just completely destroyed and tired. And it took me a while to get up it. I took a few falls, but I climbed it. I just like to be out in nature, kind of see what God's created and like just see the majesty of the world and the beauty. When I climb, I feel a rush, I feel the adrenaline, I feel the fright from being 60, 70 feet, maybe even 300, 400 feet in the air. And just on the side of a mountain, just being on the vertical instead of the horizontal plane.